Nothing but great training partners, great coaches, push me every day. Knowing I had it in the tank to push the third round, get the job done. It's nothing new. I can do this all day.
Declaring the winner by TKO, the Haitian sensation, Neil Magny.
He's fighting the hands. That's
Melender
it.
taps. Quick night at the office for Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. Wow. Capoeira.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered.
Please tell me that's on video. I've never been happier.
I'm made for a fucking podcast. We're dangerous. Listen to me, we're at it.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered, a UFC and Fanatics original production. I wasn't sure if I was going to be here today, so they asked RJ Clifford if you'd be able to sit in, but I am here. But I'm glad you're here, man. Thanks for coming on with us.
Of course. I've been called the third leg before, but now it's really real. Yeah.
Okay, that's not a bad. It's actually not a bad nickname, being called the third leg.
Better than the third wheel, right, Jimmy? We're coming out hot. We're coming out hot. RJ, all I got to see is the top of that head. Not yours, my friend, where I'm jealous of your hair. I know that's Bout's rooting on your chest.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, stand up. Is it anything more to? Oh, fuck yeah, it is.
Godspeed and party on.
Does he say
OG
that?
shirt.
Is that his thing?
That's his like tagline, right? Godspeed and party on.
Well,
Liver
fuck,
shot.
man. I like that. There's a
OG.
little Bill and Ted in there.
A little bit.
Good to see you, RJ.
Good to be back. Thanks for having me, boys. I'm excited.
You know what's wild, man? We got two guys that are facing each other, Jimmy, on our show.
We don't always get the
Very rarely.
the two opponents. I can't remember the last time we had the two guys actually fighting the main event.
So we make sure we don't shit on the second guy.
Right.
Who's
Well,
on
that's what the
first?
first guy does. So we got to say, like, because it's too bad Neil Magny isn't a shit talker, because we can be like, hey, Dos Santos, Neil Magny just said, oh my God, he's going to murder your children. What do you say to that? So we got to might have to fish something out of Neil so we can go back to his
stir it up
opponent.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, who's first? Oh, Neil is first. And Neil is, you're right, a very nice guy.
Let's get him to shit talk today.
Yeah.
My goal is to get Neil Magny to shit talk.
Yeah, we need a viral clip, Neil. Help us out.
What's up, Neil?
Nothing much. What are you guys doing?
Hey, buddy.
Awesome.
One
Nice.
of the nicest fucking animals out there, dude. You're a savage in the cage, but yet you're so pleasant to see. You're always smiling. Neil, how are you in the locker room right before? I can't see you kicking doors, or I can see you more zen-like. How are you right before you walk out?
I would definitely say more zen-like. I mean, more so it's kind of real chill, ready to go. And it's right when you get behind that curtain, it's about to open up. And it's all right, go. Time to go. It's time to go now. It's time to go out there and win. But that's the moment. It's really just chill, laid back, just kind of enjoying the moment.
I thought of you. I got an MRI, and the last time we spoke, you talked about how you can fall asleep in an MRI. And I'm laying in one. I'm like, how the fuck does he fall asleep with this racket? And I was just very envious of your ability to do that. I have a question for you about in the Prates fight. There was a moment where it was before the finish. You had gotten you'd knocked down briefly, and then the ref stepped in and goes, "Okay, up." And I'm like, why did he do that? If you wanted to stay down and fight from the floor, why did the ref stand you up and stop Prates from going in?
It was very obvious that Prates had no intention of going to the ground or whatever. This based on prior fights and that kind of thing. So I would assume that it was a prejudgment made by the ref, where it's all right, cool, you got the knockdown. This guy wants to continue grappling. The other guy obviously wants to keep striking. Going back to the feet, let's keep this thing a striking match kind of thing. I mean, was it a fair choice to make? I have no idea. I'm not going to argue one way or the other. But I can understand why he would make that decision. It's kind of all right, well, we have a guy who's well-rounded. We have a guy who's strictly a striker. He scored a knockdown. I'm pretty sure that he was probably going to chase the KO, so to speak. So let's keep the action moving along, I guess.
Okay, if it didn't annoy you, it shouldn't annoy me. Okay, because it just
No, for sure. Like I said, it was everything else that was going on around that fight night, everything else like that. A ref telling me to get back to my feet was the least bit of my concerns.
Okay.
Jim's thinking about becoming athletic commissioner, so he's trying to get the rules down for you, but now it's out the window.
Yeah, I was very pissed off for Neil. I'm like, why would that guy make that decision for how Neil's gonna fight? I'll mind my fucking business. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Neil,
What?
I'm sorry, RJ. Neil, let me ask you, because I'm looking at through your whole UFC career, and after a loss, the next one you got it back, and you got back a couple, and then if you had a loss, you got the next one back. I've been in your shoes before. I've been down too. You seem cool as a cucumber, man. I don't know. Do you feel? And again, I always like to keep it positive, dude. Again, I've been in your shoes for myself. I just remembered why I got into it, why I like doing this. How are you feeling right now mentally? I mean, we dropped 2. Where are we at?
I feel great. I mean, leading with gratitude would be the first part, but when it's all said and done, I honestly feel great about it. I mean, looking back at those 2 fights, I can actually be my biggest critic and understand what was happening around that time, what was happening going into those fights, and where I was at and that kind of thing. So do I need to blast out and give 1,000 different excuses? No, absolutely not. At the end of the day, I went out there, I didn't perform, I walked away with a loss or whatever. But internally knowing that, man, I did just lose that fight. Damn, I just lost another fight. What's going on here? What do I need to do different? What do I need to do better? What do I need to improve on? What's going on that I can change and everything else like that? So you kind of have those honest conversations with yourself and really kind of reflect on what took place. And then you start setting goals and figuring out all right, where do I go from here, so to speak? So as annoying as it was to drop 2, as hurtful it was to drop 2, I know what was going on. I know what took place. I know what I'm capable of doing. And I just kind of hit the ground running as far as getting myself in the right mental state, getting myself in the right state as far as training partners and coaches and that kind of thing, to go ahead and get myself back up and go out there and get a win come Saturday night.
Shit, yeah.
Well, yeah, now you're not fighting these crazy hungry up and comers, undefeated, knocking everybody out. Now you got someone kind of your similar age, right? I think just 1 year apart. I'm shocked you guys haven't fought before. You and Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. You've both been in the UFC forever, the same weight class. I was like, oh, this has to be a rematch. I'm like, nope, definitely not. What you have a giant reach advantage in this one, but he's also a really fun striker. So how do you prepare for someone where you have this giant advantage, but also it seems to be where his bread and butter is?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a fight that's won in the mind long before the fight even takes place physically in the cage. I mean, just based on what you just said right there. I mean, it's my last couple of fights, I was facing these young up and comers that are hungry to go out there and knocking everybody else out, and now I get a guy like Elizeu dos Santos, whatever. That thought right there can allow me to get complacent. Think, oh, cool, I'm getting a break. I'm fighting another vet. I can kick back and chill at this point. But no, at this point, I have to take the approach of being the young, hungry fighter. I have to channel that kind of energy where it's no, this is my opportunity to go out there and shine. It's my opportunity to go out there and win. My opportunity to go out there and get back on the winning side of things or whatever. As far as I'm concerned, Elizeu dos Santos is just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than a Carlos Pratas or Mike Morales. Could he be a little bit older? Sure, absolutely. But as far as the danger he has or possesses or whatever, and the tools brings to the fight night, he's equally as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than the guys I fought in my recent fights. So for me, taking that mental approach going into the fight, knowing that I have a tough opponent in front of me, has allowed me to kind of really break through mentally where I need to go out there and perform the way I need to physically.
And he's coming off a loss to Chidi Njokuani. And so you're fighting a guy who wants to get a win, and you looked good in both of those fights. By the way, you were pressing Pratas against the cage. You seemed like you were in a very, very controlling position. It wasn't like it was just a bad moment towards the end of the round, but you were very dominant in that. And then Morales, hey, look, good for him, but he caught you with an elbow, coming off the cage. But it wasn't like you were outclassed by these guys. You were I think fairly dominant in both of these fights until the end of the round.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things like I said, I mean, there's so much going in there. There's go out there and try to oh, God, I'll do my best with it. Just kind of with that, just kind of play the hands that you were dealt play the cards you were dealt, so to speak. But honestly, I can go back and look at those fights and say there was a couple of things leading up to it that the option even stepping in there was probably not the best case. But at the same time, when life is life, and you're no, I have to take care of business. I have to go out there and get this done, or whatever. So you kind of throw that stuff to the back burner and try to focus on the task that's in front of you. But ultimately, it was it was an unfortunate thing that turned out to be a blessing. It allowed me to take some time off to really kind of get some things in order, put some things in place to kind of put me where I need to be physically, emotionally, mentally to go out there and get the results that I want. So would I have walked away for 9 months if I would have won those fights? No, I would have been like, oh, I'm doing just fine with what I'm doing. Might as well keep going the way I'm going. But losing those fights in the way that I did kind of really forced me to kind of take a step back and reassess a lot of things in my life and get things in order. And I'm weirdly grateful for that opportunity to be able to do that.
What I love is you got so much experience in there. Even in a fight where you're not dominating, you could still pull it off. And I can't help but I got to bring up your Mike Malott fight, man. Like, holy shit, man. I'm watching that fight and I'm thinking, man, this Mike Malott might be the second coming, man. What the fuck? Holy shit, Niels. Get out of there. Get out of there. Dude, I'm worried for my buddy. And the way, dude, that third round, holy shit, the way you turn that around. And I'm not saying stole his soul in a bad way to Mike, because he came back since then. But that was a Rocky movie right there, man. That was fucking, how can he take? Throw the towel in. No, it was great, dude. It was fine. No, and you came out pretty clean, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, and these are the moments that, like, looking back on it, you're truly grateful for. I mean, here I am, like, Mike Malott scenario all over. I'm down 2 fights. Here's the third fight. Can you go out there and get it done, kind of thing. And those are the most I appreciate. I mean, there's definitely, I would love to have the moment where it's like, it's the superhero story. You go out there and you defeat every villain and, like, life is great. But the reality is, this is what it actually is. Like, you go out there and, like, you do everything you can to win, and sometimes it doesn't go your way, whatever it is, but you still find a way, you still find a reason to get back to your feet and go out there and try it again, so to speak. And here I am still chasing that moment where it's like, all right, can Rocky come back at the restaurant for a couple of years and still go out there and kick some butt? Absolutely, I think so. So I get to go out there and make it happen.
So this will be your 35th UFC fight. So you're talking about Rocky. This is like, there's like 12 Rockies. This is like Rocky 35 for you. You've been in this so long. So it's like, it's hard to remember, but way back in the day, you were on that Midwest regional scene, and I've heard amazing stories about guys fighting in barns, fighting in strip clubs. You're warming up in a horse trough, right? Like those old school days, right? Like early 2010. You got to have some crazy stories about that time.
Oh, absolutely, man. I remember fighting in casinos where you're literally fighting in, like, so the cage is elevated and you're fighting in a cloud of cigarette smoke while you're in there. The strip club fights. I remember fighting in the strip club and then turn around having to judge somebody else's fight in the very same strip club that I just fought in. It's just like all these crazy stories from back in the day and experiences back in the day. Just like it was just a wild time. I mean, like, even like my time in the military, man, I remember being in Iraq and just trying to stay up till like 3-4 in the morning just so I could get a glimpse of the UFC fights that were taking place or whatever on the AFN network in the middle of Iraq somewhere. So I could never appreciate those moments back in the day that just kind of like solidified the love for the sport, the passion for the sport, where it's like whatever else is going on, like being in the middle of a war zone, I'm gonna find a way to go tune into some UFC fights and eventually being able to work my way through and get to the UFC myself. I never appreciate those moments for sure.
Did you enjoy those early times, like those strip club fights and those crazy, like, were you enjoying them as they happened? A lot of times we look back fondly on these things and we go, wow, that was like a really great time in my life and I was on this journey and did you appreciate it as it was happening?
In the moment, it was kind of like checking off the boxes. So, like, I remember when I came back from my deployment, I remember making the choice, like, oh, do I pursue MMA full time? Do I go try to wrestle? What do I do during that time? I remember one of the older guys in my unit kind of pulled me aside and said, hey, man, I don't want you to have any regrets 20 years from now. So if I were you, I would definitely take that chance to at least give wrestling a shot in college or whatever. Just so you don't have that regret 10 years later, whatever else may be. So I kind of took his advice, went on to try to wrestle at college and all that kind of stuff. But during that time, I was fortunate to actually run into Matt Hughes, Robbie Lawler, Mark Fiore, and all those guys who had just opened up a gym just up the street from where I was going to school. And I started training with those guys. But by the time I was training with those guys down at in Southern Illinois, for me it was just a matter of like checking off the boxes. I knew that I knew where I wanted to go and what it would take to get there. So when it was like when I was fighting someone, I didn't care who it was. I was just kind of looking for opponents to go out there, get a win, check the box off, and get closer to getting to the UFC kind of thing. So did I enjoy the process along the way? Sure. But did I like overindulge in it? It's like, oh yeah, I just won a regional fight. Woo, I'm the man. Not really. I was like, all right, cool. I would literally work the day of my fight, go fight that evening, win that night, and then go right back to work on Sunday morning like nothing happened. Just because I was so worried about getting to the next level, getting to the next point, just trying to advance my career forward.
Hey, I don't know if this is a record. I don't know who has the most time in there, but 6 hours and 56 minutes and 40 seconds of fight time. Dude, that's a flight to Vegas and then some for me. Dude, let me ask you. When the later in my career, I felt more comfortable in that octagon and compared to when I was first in there with some fucking tunnel vision. Holy shit. How comfortable do you feel in there now? I can't even imagine all that fight time compared to another day sparring at the gym. Obviously, there's a difference, but with that much time in there, how comfortable do you feel in that octagon?
I definitely feel way more comfortable now. I mean, especially when you fight like a place like the Apex. Like, I mean, like the Apex, like flying into Vegas to go train at like Syndicate or whatever. Like, you know, you've done it so many times. It feels like you're like kind of at home. It's pretty much like a glorified sparring session at this point. But the cool thing is like when you're in the gym as much and you constantly have like a fresh new wave of young guys kind of challenging themselves, it kind of allows you to get comfortable. It's like, all right, cool. Let's see what the young guy has for me today, kind of thing. I mean, it's every day. There's a new 22-year-old like looking to prove himself, like, oh yeah, I'm the next best thing out there. It's like, all right, let's see. And then like a year goes by, and guess what? There's another 22-year-old looking to prove himself as being the next best thing out there. So like it definitely allows you to get more comfortable. Just like spending so much time in the cage, whether it's the sparring cage or the fight cage or whatever. But I'm at peace in there. I'm at home in there. I'm like, oh cool, here we go. Another night in the office.
Your first time fighting at the Apex, now you're used to it. Was it weird for you? When I fought on the Ultimate Fighter, it was weird, man. I remember Dean Thomas being like, man, you hear it's kind of scary. It was like, so like, it felt like something almost illegal. I know the Apex is a little bigger than that, but it was a little odd not going from the stadiums and now you're fighting with less people and you hear everything.
I think had the experience been the opposite, it might have been different for me, but like had I went from like fighting in arenas to fighting Apex and then again experience, it might have been different. But like I went from fighting in this crazy video circuit we just talked about to fighting at the Ultimate Fighter. Like the first time I fought for the Ultimate Fighter, it was at the MGM Grand and it was like complete empty studio. So like you can see all the cheers and everything else like that. And it was nothing but cameramen, producers, and lights at the MGM Grand or whatever. So like having that experience, fighting Apex for me was like, it was just another day in the office. It was nothing new at that point. Like I've already had that experience fighting on the Ultimate Fighter where it's like, oh, cool, I'm going to MGM Grand. You see the big gold building walking. I'm sorry, not the MGM, the Mandalay Bay. You see a big gold building driving up. And you're like, oh, holy crap, I'm fighting here. And you get in, and it's like, so where is everybody? Like it's kind of by yourself with a couple of random dudes in there. So having that experience early on in my career, it definitely made it easy to adapt to like that whole Apex COVID era where we're just like, all right, you're in a cage fighting with 10 people watching kind of thing.
And our next guest is going to be Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. So we very rarely have two guys fighting each other on the same card. So do you have anything you would like us to say to him?
Let's go. Get prepared. Fight nice color, baby.
See, that's as mean as you can. You're the nicest guy. We knew you wouldn't say anything mean. You're the nicest
Now do it in
guy.
Portuguese. Same thing.
What did they say? Bumpa? I have no idea. I can't even like Carolina die or some crazy crap.
Yeah, man. Porrada.
Yeah.
That's what they yell. I think it means fight or something. Hey, I'm excited for you. I always love when you're on a card, Neil. Yeah. I think everybody does. You're that fan favorite. I say that in a good way. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, second fight up on the main card. It's a great card. And it is August the 2nd, which would be this Saturday night in Las Vegas. So always good talking to you, Neil. We like you so much as a person, as a fighter. So have a great fight on Saturday.
I appreciate it. Great talk to you guys as well. Have a good one.
All right.
Thanks, Neil.
Neil Magny. All right, well, take care, buddy.
Awesome. See you guys.
We love him.
I always wonder, like, the super nice guys, if that's like a reputation they like, because you're a professional ass kicker, right? You're a cage fighter, and you're known as like the Damian Maias and the Frankie Edgars. Like, oh, they're such nice guys. To be like, fuck that. I want to be known as the mean guy, the badass.
They're totally secure with themselves.
I think so too. Yeah, because
I'm not, so that's why I want to be.
They know that they're monsters.
RJ.
They're terrors in a cage. Like, you know what I mean? It's if you're losing a lot and a nice guy, that probably sucks. But if you're winning and a nice guy, I think it's probably a nice it's a nice dichotomy to a personality. That's my guess. I've never won a fight in my life, so I don't know.
You know, RJ used to fight Jimmy.
I know that. I know he did.
Right? I don't know if you read it.
Do you miss it?
I miss the feeling, and Matt, you can back me up on this. The feeling of winning is if that was a drug you can buy on the street, I'd be in back alleys doing whatever it took to get it. Like that, like I don't care. Like I can only imagine winning a UFC title, knocking out George St. Pierre, like that feeling. I was beating some 1-1 guy in some Indian casino in front of 800 people. I felt like I was king of the world. I was like, I'm UFC champion, the best. Like that feeling, Jim, is like it cannot be compared to.
It's true, Jimmy.
I remember like, Alan Joban said it to us that Dominick Cruz and him had talked about it, and Alan said he misses feeling dangerous. Like you know you're still dangerous, but he misses the training, always feeling like you're ready to fight anybody. And he said that was something he missed a lot from his fighting days that he hadn't thought of when he was fighting.
Yeah, and RJ, you're downplaying whoever you fought. You fought another guy in a cage that's trying to do you bodily harm, and you came out on top. That's why you feel so glorious, and it's a great fucking feeling. So even when I fought some tomato cans on my way to the UFC, it still felt pretty good. It felt a little worse when you know you got him outgunned, but the tougher the guy, and you fight another tough guy and you beat him, man, that's, you know, guys training to fight you. There's nothing like it, you know, especially if you get a finish.
It's like anything else. Like you put so much into it, right? You just put so much into it. The injuries you overcame, the weight you cut. Like I wrestled my whole life, like all the training. That's like, and then it's just all compressed into like a 7-second feeling when Big John McCarthy's tearing you off of some guy who's knocked out. You're just Jim, I imagine like if you're doing a special, like a comedy special, right? And you spend so much time on material, and you travel the road testing it, and then finally you're there in front of this big audience and you nail it. Like just anything you put so much into that turns out well, like you just can't beat that feeling of accomplishment.
It's an incredible high. And the crazy thing is, like, even the guys that you guys, like Matt, you'll say is the guys at Tomato Can, or like RJ, the guys you fought, like they're all guys who maybe in your world are average, but in the real world, they're very dangerous people. Like they're all high level fighters. They just might not be high level compared to you guys. Like, but they're still dangerous guys. They're not like regular guys off the street. They're trained fighters. So yeah, I'm in awe of it, man. Like I'm a white belt in jiu-jitsu, and I get so goddamn tired doing anything. The fact that anybody can, keeping your hands up is hard. Like that, I never realized how difficult it was just to keep your hands up and not get hit in the face. So, yeah, awe-inspiring.
I feel that the life of a comedian and the life of a fighter, they really could relate to each other. Like from the beginning, you feel like you're living the dream, just doing what you love and not having a real job. Even if you're barely getting by, you still feel like you're winning. But there's always that insecurity of if it's not going to work out for you. And then if it does work out for you, it's fucking glorious because I'm so happy. But RJ, but during listen, I always say to my young guys, listen, enjoy the journey, enjoy it. You look back fondly, but keep your eye on the prize. You know what I mean? Because it might lead to fucking nowhere, which is always that anxiety. You know what I mean? Yeah. So comedians are the same way, I feel.
Yes, except the difference is the smelling salts have to be used on my audience to wake them up.
What's a drunker audience? A UFC, a MMA audience, or a comedy show audience?
Oh, I'm going to say MMA because they're there longer too, and they're starting in the afternoon. Like, you know what I mean? Especially if you go in Vegas, 3:00, the prelims are starting, and you have your first beer. So by the time the main event starts, you've been fucking pumping in drinks for 7 hours. I would say an MMA audience is definitely drunker. And also, we talked briefly before we started about this Carlos Ulberg Dominick Reyes fight that has just been announced, and you said that was in Perth, RJ?
Yeah, Perth in September.
What a great fight! What a great fight that is.
That's
big
awesome
for Ulberg, man. That's his. That's. Is he from Perth or is he from where? Where is he from?
He is from New Zealand.
All right,
but close.
Well,
I mean, that's kind of
they'll be rooting for him.
You know, I mean, this is great. Like we've seen, like Carlos Ulberg, like early in his UFC career, he was just like finishing everybody, right? First round knockout, and then he fought Uzdemir and Blachowicz and won those two, but a little bit more competitive. You're like, okay, he's crushing everybody outside the top 10. Now he's in the top 10. How can he do? And now obviously take on Dominick Reyes, who's won 3 in a row, been in there with the absolute best, right? And John Jones, it's like it's a nice gauge for both guys, right? Like Reyes is like, I'm back. That little blip is done. And Carlos Ulberg can be like, yeah, I'm no longer just picking off the weaklings. Like I can legit keep dispatching top 5, top 10 light heavyweights.
Dominick's got a good story behind him now. Like it's like everybody loves a fucking comeback. You know what I mean? So people were writing him off, almost making like the John Jones close fight, very close fight, was a fluke, and that was just his one. You know, that was his shining, moment, and he's downhill from there. And now he's showing everybody, putting 4 guys away. I mean, he's never looked better. And this is a great test. I mean, the betting favorite would be Ulberg, though, right?
Should be.
Maybe.
I mean, he hasn't lost since his debut.
Yeah, but he's also, in the last two, the 2 decisions, Blachowicz and Uzdemir, the thing that might make Ulberg feel good about that is they're both kind of different fight. Like Blachowicz punches, but I mean, he's such a grab you and put you on the ground type of guy. And Uzdemir is much more of a striker. So he's gone the distance with both styles of fighters. So that might make him feel a little more prepared. But I would still give the edge to Dominick Reyes, even if he's not the betting favorite, because he's fought everybody. I mean, his level of competition has been pretty incredible.
Well, and in between the ears, Reyes just seems to be in a great place. Like he's a man of faith, and he's like all about that, and he's like secure with his family. I remember I interviewed him before his last fight against Nikita Krylov, and I was trying to get one of those like clickbaity questions. I'm like, who's super overrated at 205? Like trying to get him to talk shit.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, that's a clickbait question. I'm not answering that. I have a fight coming up. I was like, okay, you passed the test. Yes, that's all I was doing. I was making sure your head's in the right place, and you passed the test. But I think the Dominick Reyes of 5 years ago would have been like, oh, I gotta give a good answer. I gotta he's just so secure. He's like, nah, screw you. I'm not dealing with that right now.
And he's come back and he's looked really good in these 3 fights that he's won. Because it really must be like the Jones fight. A lot of people, including myself, think that Reyes won. It was very close. I thought he eked out a win. I thought he should have gotten it. And then he gets, 3, TKO and then 2 KOs in a row. So those are clearly losses. But now he's come back with 3 straight knockouts. So, I mean, he's looking good again.
Shoot, yeah.
But it shows you that the mentality going into it is something. Like, again, if you win 12 or 30, he was 12-0. You win 12 in a row and then lose 4 in a row. There's definitely some type of a mental thing where you're doubting yourself. There's no way you're not. I mean, it's human nature. So hopefully he's over that and he's back into thinking positive again.
He also throws away my whole theory that football players can't fight.
Was he a football player?
D1, yeah, he didn't play NFL, but he was a D1 free safety. And so I was just like, oh, yeah, these football players, none of them can fight. None of them can do it. And then Dominick Reyes comes in here and just starts head kicking everybody. I'm like, well, there goes my theory.
I liked Greg Hardy, too, when he was fighting. You know what I mean? I liked him. He had a nice little stint in the UFC. I guess he's out of the UFC now. I haven't heard anything of him from a long time. But I always enjoyed watching Greg Hardy fight.
I like that clip when there's these 2 MMA kids and they beat up these 2 football players in the bathroom. It went viral a while ago. You know what I'm talking about, RJ.
Yeah.
The one guy, I forgot, they were like known either, I don't follow fucking sports, but they were football players, I believe. And they were just the other guys were smaller. He beat the shit out of these 2.
You remember the video of Roger Huerta on the street knocking out, he's a University of Texas linebacker. There's like 230-pound guy, like hit a woman or got physical with the girl. And so lightweight Roger Huerta goes up to this like 6'4", 230 dude, knocks him out, curb stomps him. And you're just like, okay, that's a 155er. Knocking out
when was that? I've never seen that video.
This was like 15, 16 years ago. Yeah, long. This is like before TikTok, so you might not have seen it, Jim.
I do remember a video from Las Vegas of a certain fighter subduing a drunk man in a restaurant in a very calm. And Matt, I tell you, Matt said something that like he goes that takedown. He goes, any one of my white belts could do that. Like after a year, and that kind of encouraged me to keep going. Like, all right, maybe in a year or two, I'll be able to, just not get your ass kicked in a restaurant from some drunk.
What's great about that video is that, again, I beat some savages in my day. It's nothing to brag about. It's a drunk white belt, but it does show you that you could not. I was there with my wife and kids. Everybody, when I took that drunk down, everybody was clapping in the restaurant before they started filming. It showed you that you could look. Listen, I know I'm 5'6", but I still look kind of like a Rottweiler. For that guy to start with me, I don't look like a pussy in front of my wife and kids. Everybody, that would have been an embarrassing moment if I got my ass handed to me in front of my. So it's nice to be knowing that you're not going to be ever disarmed. And like you said, we were talking to who was it? Alan Joban. How he misses feeling dangerous. Man, I still feel fucking dangerous. So it's good to have in your back pocket jiu-jitsu, Jimmy, and you know that. That's why you're training. Yeah. Because that way it'll never happen to you. You know what I mean? You're not going to get, even if you don't beat the guy's ass, you're not going to get your ass handed to you. You know? Right. You'll be able to at least put weight on him properly. Yeah, take care of a drunk white belt. Yeah.
Where are you, Matt? Like, do people? There's like the general public want to like get their name off of you? Like, do you get people who want to fight you out there because you're 5'6" and maybe they think they can take you, but you're a former champion. You've got the cauliflower ear bricked out. Like, where do you stand on the bully sphere?
You know what it is? I'm 51. I'm not in bars or clubs or that's not my scene. The
bingo hall. No one's trying to fight you.
I'm around Long Island. I get nothing but love. You know what I mean? Nothing but love. But I'm a hermit, bro. I go to my school. So when I'm in the general public, I don't go to the UFCs if my guys aren't fighting or anything. I don't put myself, so I'm not like a little George Clooney walking out there with Joe Rogan, even though I could be mistaken for him. But everybody's usually cool to me. Because you know why? Whenever it's in person, it's real. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they get the sense that I could just, I could go off. I mean,
people can sense that too, Matt. Like people, you don't seem like a pushover. Your personality doesn't. The way you speak, I think people can sense that.
Sometimes people think they know you. They get too comfortable. You know what I mean? Especially if they're drinking. So I'd be at sometimes a jiu-jitsu thing where it's at night or something where they have special things. Guys get drunk. They feel like they could come up and hug you and shit. So it's like, I'm a huggable guy. I love everybody. So I give off a good vibe, but there's always that line there. You got boundaries. You know what I mean? You make sure nobody is disrespectful, but everybody's always cool.
And I feel like if something gets close, you're a talker. You're like, dude, you don't want to do this, right? You'll make a joke, move it along, say, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you don't want this, buddy. Let's move on.
Listen, anybody, even if I beat their ass, they'll be famous or something. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not trying to get them any clicks or anything, but if there's ever a line crossed, I will break their jaw. Fuck. Hey guys, listen, where are we? We have our guest. What we just
I think so.
Elizeu, man. Yes. Fighting Neil Magny. I'm so excited. I love that this fights on every week. Elizeu, you look a little, you need some sun. That's not you. Hey, I miss you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
I'm so happy to see you.
Wow.
You're my favorite translator.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Fabiano, so good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you too.
Elizeu, very good to see you, my friend. Yes. Warrior.
Tudo bem?
Everything all right? How you guys feeling?
Better now that you're here.
Yes, exactly.
How are you?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I was gonna say, how are you feeling? Coming off that fight with Chidi, how is your mentality, and how do you feel going into this fight after that last one?
Pô, melhor possível.
Couldn't be better. Actually, I got, unfortunately, obviously, the result didn't come. But on Monday, I was already training and I got back into the gym as soon as possible. Just trying to fix everything and just get better, get ready for this one. I'm here now and I'm doing what I love, so I couldn't be happier.
Aqui, podendo fazer aquilo que eu gosto de fazer, então tá maravilhoso.
Elizeu, let me ask you. I don't want to talk about that last fight too much because that's it. But one thing, isn't it annoying as hell when the guy doesn't make weight? Doesn't it make it feel a little unfair? A little bit like, man, the playing field, you might have 20%. I might get 20% of the purse, but it's not an even playing field here. It's, level.
Então, Matt, eu acho que...
No, man. Matt, first and foremost, like, this better than anybody. As by the way, as a fighter and big fan of yours, I think that making weight is a very important thing, and it's part of this business. And first of all, I have never had that issue in my life. Not even when I was an amateur. When I actually became a pro, and especially in the UFC, never had that issue. And I'm coming off of 2 fights in which they didn't make weight. It's not just cheating, but actually the fight against Grogan as well. Just that, opponents not making weight. I've taken it very seriously, and I just think it upon myself to think I am going to make this weight. I don't care what happens. I'm going to honor the code, because it is an honor code, and there's a lot of honor to this. So I think I will always do everything that's needed. I will make weight, and I say that maybe they should be looking to being more stern in their punishment for people that don't make weight.
Tem uma punição maior para isso.
100% agree.
So you got Neil Magny coming up on Saturday. 7-inch reach advantage for him, and super savvy guy. Doesn't seem to have like a weakness. There's not like an exact part of his game that's just terrible. How do you prepare for a veteran that seems to be that well-rounded?
Com certeza, né? Magny, eu acho que além de ser
veterano. Neil just been at the highs of the sport. Is not just that he's a veteran, but he's also kept himself at the top for a long time with great results and doing everything. And I think that when a guy is like that, experienced, he's up for a battle all the time, for a war. And also does not have many holes in his game, as you mentioned, Andre. I think it's just it's an opportunity for me to show what Elizeu Capoeira is all about. Like it's to show that I can study the guy. It makes me better as a fighter, and it gets me even more. It gets me more motivated to be even more prepared for a fight like that, knowing the challenge ahead.
E tem muita técnica também.
We wanted to ask Elizeu as well, as a fan, if there was any athlete, a living or dead, that he could get an autograph from, as a fan, who is an athlete that he likes enough that he would love to have met and gotten an autograph from?
I think Ellie Gracie, man, for sure. Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful. I like that.
Yeah. Well, look, have a great fight on Saturday. We appreciate you coming on, and thank you for Fabiano for coming in and helping us have this conversation. And good luck. It's a great fight. Second fight up on the card Saturday night. Elizeu against Neil Magny. And you're both veterans and you're both great fighters. So look forward to it. And thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. Of course.
Can I just say one more thing? After talking to Elizeu, and we just had Neil Magny on, I'm really liking where his head's at. Throughout his career, whenever he had a loss, it shows it didn't get to his head. He won the next fight. So I know he's coming off a loss. His history shows he doesn't let it affect him mentally. And I know Neil Magny is very mentally strong. So I just wanted to add that in. I don't know if you want to.
Muito obrigado. Obrigado, Matt.
Thank you so much, Matt. Actually, it means a lot to me, because that's what it is. It's everything that I do. It's just all the dedication and the work. I do it with a lot of love. And every time something like this happens, it gives me the opportunity to just put even more dedication, more work, and more love into it. It's really a truly labor of love. I love this, and I love the sport.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for coming on, and have a great fight.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Elizeu.
You know what fight I'm looking forward to? Rodolfo Vieira against Trezeguet Gore in the that's the next to almost the main fight of the prelims. I'm just looking Vieira up as we were talking. It looks like he's 8-3 in the UFC, coming off a decision loss to Petrosky. But I think that's a great fight, and I would have been fine with that being the main fight of the prelims as well. So I guess we should plug the fights. 6 o'clock. Of course, we're plugging Tatsuro Taira against Hyun-Sun Park, and that is Saturday, this Saturday, August the 2nd. I'm trying to get the time, but I fucking clicked out of it. 6 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. ESPN Plus is the prelims. Main card, 9 o'clock, ESPN Plus, so you don't have to, there's no pay-per-view this week. It's a great card, and there's some great fights, so I hope people enjoy.
Also, Jimmy.
Yes, buddy.
UFC BJJ is tomorrow, Thursday, July 31st.
That's
free to watch on UFC's YouTube channel. Just so you know, man, we just had Andrew Dackett on.
That's right. And he's
Love those
defending his
Dackett
belt already after 30 days, I think. Didn't he fight a month ago? Is that what he wanted?
Dean Thomas on the call. What does that mean?
He's been doing play-by-play or
Yeah.
however they, color commentary, and he's very good.
I got to get the lingo down. Dean Thomas is everywhere. He directed a movie. He fucking. I love Dean Thomas. We got to get Dean Thomas back on.
He's done literally every job you can do in MMA besides ring card girl. Like he's like you can't. There's not a thing he hasn't done.
Don't put it past him.
Right?
Don't
He
give
wanted
any-
to. He wanted to be the
Don't give
Invicta ring card boy. He got asked Shannon Knapp on our show. It's like, can I be a ring card boy? And he's like, done deal. I don't know why it fell through. I think he's trying to get some abs or something first. But
why did it fall through? Look at Dean Thomas. That's why it fell through. RJ, thank you so much for coming on. It was really fun hanging. Is there anything you want to promote?
Just not really. No.
Nah, man.
I got whore. Okay, here we go. Whore myself out. I got a Raiders podcast called The Autumn Windbags. You can catch it on YouTube and wherever there's podcasts. And then some stuff in the works MMA wise. Something's cooking in the kitchen. So when there's something to announce, I'll come on here and let you guys know. Thank you guys for having me on.
What's your social media for everybody? I'm following.
At RJ Clifford MMA, Instagram and Twitter. Too old for TikTok.
Yep.
Me too. That should be a hashtag.
Yeah.
Give me plug away if you want.
I'm going to Pittsburgh. I drive tonight. I'll be in Millvale, Pennsylvania tomorrow, and then I'm in Baltimore Friday, Saturday. So if you want to, come check me out.
All right, Matt Serra channel. Jimmy, I want to see you live.
I would like that. A couple times you were going to come and you didn't. So I was out in Long Island and you just were too busy.
My producer the other day is like, how come you don't have Jimmy on the fucking thing? I go, I don't want to.
I would love to come on. If I was invited, I would come right out there and come on.
We're going to make it happen. Matt Serra channel on YouTube. Out of theater reactions, movies, VR. Watch me play VR like a man-child. Interviews. My latest, I had the great Marab on in studio, and we talked over an hour. We had a great time.
Yeah.
That's that.
Beautiful.
Guys, so much fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
RJ.
Thanks, RJ. A lot of fun hanging out, man. And Matt, I'll talk to you Monday.
100%, if not FaceTime before.
Oh, of course, every day. All right. Take care,
Goodbye,
guys.
everybody.
Later.
Thanks again, RJ.